need.
That has been the argument of people who support abortion rights for quite some time now. We've seen a number of significant moves in many states. It's been going on for months before Joe Biden got into the race. So why this change now? Because if you're trying to convince people that this isn't about political expediency, which is part of Joe Biden's hallmark, or as he would hope it would be, then don't you have to explain substantively how he changes his mind from Wednesday to Thursday on an issue as significant as this? It crosses so many lines. Healthcare, yes, for Democratic primary voters, but for maybe general election voters, and the majority of them, it's also an issue of morality and religion. So what is the substantive explanation for how he changed his mind?
Look, this was a tough personal decision for him, but the substantive explanation is that the moment that we're in now is a dramatically different one.
Did he speak to advocates? How did he do it? Did someone give him evidence? What kind of evidence? Did he speak to advocates? Did he speak to women? What was the impetus? What was the inflection point that changed his mind?
Well, look, but wait, I think the other thing that's getting lost here is that he has been an advocate for women's choice for his entire career. I mean, look, in the last 50 years, Democrats have successfully kept one Republican Supreme Court justice nominee off the court. That was Robert Bork. And who led that fight? That was Joe Biden. And that was a fight about choice. That was a fight about
We're talking about the Hyde Amendment.
So to suggest, but I think to suggest that this is somehow out of step or out of sync with the way that he's viewed this issue is actually not true. I mean, this is an issue for him
But changing from Wednesday to Thursday. Explain to us how this happened, because did he speak to an advocate? Did he speak? What was the thing that changed his mind?
You've heard him say. He said last night he is looking, as he's thinking about his health care plan, which he'll roll out in the coming weeks, and he's thinking about access, and he's thinking about how we ensure that in a moment when choice is under fire, when Republican-led state legislatures are coming after choice, how do we make sure that every woman who needs access to health care gets it? That's going to be a piece of his plan when he rolls out his health care plan. And as he was working through that, he decided that in this moment of crisis, that he could no longer be for something that would close off those avenues to women.
All of those conditions that you just explained are as they were on Wednesday when NBC News published their story saying that Joe Biden, according to his campaign, was still held this position, which he is now against the Hyde Amendment. So what is there some, he said, look, he says in his, I asked you this because he says in his book, I've made life difficult for myself by putting intellectual consistency and personal principle above expediency. So are we, in this moment, what is the process?
You heard him. Well, you heard him say it. I think you've asked the question a lot of ways. I've answered it. I mean,
I don't think you've answered it, Kate.
He has looked at frankly the crisis that we're facing.
What was the thing that made him? He's looked at the crisis.
This is a personal decision.
So did anyone in the campaign talk to him? Did they give him any evidence? Did they show him the polls on where Democrats, likely voters in the primaries, stand?
This is a personal decision of his. It was a tough decision. It's one he wrestled with. You note he's written in his career about his personal struggle on this issue, and it's one that he, at the end of the day, he makes personal decisions for himself about where he's going to be, and he looked at like I said, he looked at the crisis that we're facing on choice in this country and made that decision. And that's authentic to who he is. He's somebody who says what he believes. He's somebody who said,
Then why doesn't he explain it more than he has?
He did.
He has not explained the process. This is a serious issue. He has not explained his evolution other than to say that he has changed his mind.
He explained exactly why. He said because of the issues that we're facing now, and as he's thinking about access to health care in his health care plan, he said both of those things last night. And he is somebody who will always say what he thinks and what he believes. That's exactly what he did last night.
And he thinks that that's going to fly as he is interviewed here in the coming weeks for his interview as a sufficient answer for people who, let's say, Democratic primary voters who are now aligned with the position that he's in. but have questions about whether he's truly authentic, considering his past record when it comes to being more nuanced in the issues.
I don't think any voter has a question about Joe Biden's authenticity. I think people know him, they know who he is, they know his values, and they know that when he's facing a tough decision, when he's tackling a tough personal decision, he is going to speak candidly about how he's thinking about it. And that's exactly what he did last night.
Okay.